dream. Coins drop clinking like a metal song. Game over flash, but I'm still headstrong. Pixel warriors on a glowing screen. 8-bit heroes in a crazy dream. Coins drop clinking like a metal song. Game over flash, but I'm still headstrong. Push the button, hear the roar. Fight the battle, craving more. Game of legends in my veins. Pixelated dreams remain. High scores flashing in the midnight glow. Sifts and shred and set the tempo flow. Leather jackets and teased up hair. Living legends, we don't care. Electric haze on a battle floor. Digital ghosts knock at the door. One more life, it's do or die. Final level, reaching for the sky. Push the button, hear the roar. Fight the battle, craving more. Game of legends in my veins. Pixelated dreams remain. High scores flashing in the midnight glow. Sifts and shredding set the tempo flow. Leather jackets and teased up hair. Living legends, we don't care. Electric haze on a battle floor. Digital ghosts knock at the door. One more gun, one more electric haze. Push the button, hear the roar. Fight the battle, craving more. Game of legends in my veins. Pixelated dreams remain. Electric haze on a battlefield. Digital ghosts knock at the door. One more life, it's do or die. Final level, reaching for the sky. Legends in my veins. Pixelated dreams remain. Oh. Neon lights burn the night so wild. Joystick in hand like a reckless child. I keep buzzing electric fire. Chasing scores higher, 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 higher. Pixel warriors.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Nation Network. Vince McShane with here, and it is time to kind of say the words, game on. All right, State of the Nation. For those of you that were with me for the premiere earlier today of the XCW movie Part 1, Part 2 will come out tomorrow, and I know it's a long watch, but pretty entertaining stuff. I've got to admit, I enjoyed watching that back for the first time in over 12 years when I put that all together, and I didn't mind watching it again with you guys today. So the plan is to do the same thing tomorrow at 2:30 for those of you that can join us for that time frame. Otherwise, catch it on demand and let me know what you think of it. It's amazing that THQ and SmackDown vs. Raw 2012 is a better game than what we have today. Simply for creative story mode, if nothing else. All they have to do, and here's the weird thing about it, all THQ, see, it's wishful thinking. All 2K has to do is give us the cutscenes and let us do what we do with them. Doesn't have to even put it in universe mode. Just have them there. Funny thing, they are there. If you go into video, like if you're going to make a Tron, most of those scenes, not the restaurant scenes and a couple of other ones, probably not the monster truck, things like that are not, but many of the other scenes, backstage conversations, not quite the same, but they're there. They never come up in universe mode, but you can use them to make a Tron. Can we just have it? Because there's no way. If you could at least go into the Tron setting, make a video, put the cast in there that you want, and then get it to go full screen where you can capture that, that would work. But you can't do that. You'll be previewing it in the Tron setting in like a quarter screen, and that's it. And I've had to use that in the past. I didn't do it this year. I gave up on that. But what I'll do from there is crop it out and then blow it up. And when you do that, the picture is shit. And that's why I stopped doing it. It looks actually worse than the 2K or the 2012 video from VHS. It is just terrible. But they have the stuff there. They just don't allow us access to it. So that pisses me off a lot.
Well, it's time. It's time. It's prime time.
Indeed, it is prime time. Prime time's in the house. He was in the house earlier. Prime time's always in the house. I love you, man. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I love that stream today, by the way, guys. I appreciate it. There were so many of you there. Names that I hadn't talked to in a long time were there. We were reminiscing about wrestling past, some of the stuff from the channel, some of the stuff from actual promotions. It was a great time. That's exactly what I'd like to see in our chats on a regular basis, even on the Saturday shows. And that's where we get to the state of the nation. The state of the nation is I'm currently fucked. So I have literally tried every conceivable thing to try to understand why, out of the blue, my capture card, my Elgato HD60S, is no longer communicating with OBS. And as much as I've narrowed down, I don't believe it's OBS anymore. And I'm more convinced it's something to do with Windows. A couple days ago, I did a video when it first started acting up. And when I went to Device Manager, I found out that, somebody turned it off. Somebody being Bill Gates, the dickhead. Turned it back on, and it worked for me. Next day, won't work. And it's not turned off anymore. So can't turn it on if it's not turned off. I have no idea what the hell's going on. The only thing I know for sure is Blaze Radio is in the house. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to do anything. I've got one last thing that I'm going to do tomorrow, hopefully. I've got a few things on the plate I got to take care of that I've completely blew off today because of all. I have spent 72 hours on this bullshit. So I call up Best Buy. I'm going to try and consolidate this story. About 4 months ago, I buy a brand new computer, right? Because my old one would not upgrade to Windows 11. Okay, so I buy this one. And I decide, well, I'm only buying one every 5 to 6 years, and I splurged, okay? And I spent too much money on this computer. But it'll allow me to do my video editing much faster and much more effectively. And I like the comfort of that enough that I spent money I shouldn't have spent. 4 months later, I'm having these kind of problems. Now, it might not be the computer itself. It better not be the computer itself. But nonetheless, I'm paying for something that I can't use the way it needs to be used. So I'm not happy about that. So I call Best Buy. First off, just getting the thing paid off was a hot mess in itself. I was normally going to just pay with my regular credit card that I use all the time. And then the guy's like, well, if you use your Best Buy card, then there's no interest for 6 months as long as you make your payments and all that. And I know in my mind, I pay everything off at the end of the month. I don't carry debt over. Okay, I'm not paying interest to somebody. But I figured I'll get some points out of it or whatever the fuck, and I allowed that to happen. Then when I go to pay it off online, all of a sudden they want all my bank account information. I've had that card for 20 plus years. Why should I have to put all my bank account information in? You have it. Yeah, our systems merged and we threw it all out. Oh, well, that's your problem because I don't do that anymore online. I'm not, you can't trust anything online anymore. I literally, even if I do my banking online directly with my bank, it's under very certain circumstances. There's people stealing shit. That's all there is to it. Your identity's at risk every time you go online, period. So I'm not handing out bank account information, social security information. I am absolutely not doing. That's why this channel's not monetized. The main reason. because you have to give your social security number up. I'm not giving that to fucking YouTube. Are you kidding me? Look at Sony. How often do they drop the ball and give everybody's credit card information away? Can't keep up with them. So no, the answer is no, you're not getting my information. So I go to the store instead, and I'm going to make a direct payment. So I hand them the card that I wanted to use in the first place. Oh, we can't do that. What do you mean you can't do that? Well, you use this card. I said, okay, but only because I didn't know you all fucked me over. Well, you can't use this card to pay for that card. I said, motherfuckers, what do you care? You're getting the money. All right. Long story short, I end up paying off. Oh, that was the best. It's a Chase Best Buy card that we're talking about. And I think I have this call recorded somewhere. Oh, I wish I'd had it pulled up. I'd have played it. And this is, you can't write this shit. You really can't. So I can't pay with my bank Visa card because it's Chase and it's not my bank, right? So you can't use one card to pay for another. Okay, so that's out. I'm not walking around with $1,300 cash on me, so I'm not going to go draw $1,300 out and go walk over to Best Buy and hope it doesn't get lost or anything. That ain't happening. I says, okay, how about this? I'm talking to the lady from Chase on the phone. How about I do this? There's a Chase bank right down the street. I'll just go pay them with a check. No, you can't do that either. What do you mean I can't do that? Why not? Well, we're Chase credit card. That's Chase Bank. They don't. What the fuck? You're the same goddamn company under the same banner. Anyway, I paid them off, canceled the credit card after 25 years, never again. And I'm done with Best Buy. Done with Best Buy. But I still have, as it turns out, fate, I still have 1 month left of the Geek Squad coverage that I've always renewed annually. And I want to say it's like 100 and, well, it was. I don't even know what it's doing anymore now. I guess that's on me. It was like 150 a year, somewhere in that ballpark. And for that, you can call up. They'll have live agents. They all sound a lot like this, but their name is always going to be Raja. Hello, my name is Fred. How can I be of assistance to you? Well, first off, you can tell me that your name's not Fred because you're fucking not Fred, okay? And most of you who've been around for a while know the story what happened to me back with UPW when some friggin' Fred from Bangladesh completely fucked up my computer, destroyed it, deleted all kinds of shit. I had to bring it into them. I was without it for 3 days. They had to put a whole new hard drive in. They admitted he fucked up. This is Best Buy. So do not, my point in this is do not get the Geek Squad plan. Mine ends in about 30 days, just by coincidence. And I already told the guy, cancel it. We're done. I said, I'll take my visit. So the advantage with that is if they can't fix it over the phone, then they want a remote in. And that's where Bangladesh comes in. I learned my lesson the first time. If the stove is hot and you burn your hand, don't touch it again to see if it's still fucking hot. Okay? No, you're not going to remote into my computer. This is a brand new one. I'm sure somebody over there would love to get their fingers on that and see what they could do to it, but no, it's not going to happen. So instead, I will have the agent come to my house. And I normally get one of two guys. One guy is kind of, I keep thinking he's older, and then he gets here, he's younger than me. I mean, you know, more mature, I guess, maybe the word, and I don't know. And I like him. He's kind of like a Mr. Rogers kind of guy, but he knows his shit, okay? And he'll talk to you while he's doing it so you get an idea what was wrong and all that kind of stuff. And that visit costs $50 because you're on the plan. Okay. So I called them up. I said, I need, one of your guys come to the house. Told them what's going on. We can get someone there Saturday. Saturday? Really is what I'm paying for. And it would cost you $119. And what? I said, no, I got the plan. Yeah, that's with the 20% off. When did it go from 50 to 120? Yeah, no, that's changed a little while ago. Well, it doesn't make sense for me. I call you guys once every 3 to 4 years to come over and pay a visit. I'd be better off paying the $140 without the discount. That saves me a lot of money. That's a stupid game plan, Best Buy. So now you've lost me completely as a company. In 30 days, you will never hear or see from me ever again. Ever again. Best Buy is dead to me. Used to be one of my favorite places. Now I fucking hate them. So he's going to come out for $120 on Saturday, and I'm desperately trying to figure this out on my own just so I don't have to pay that guy. That's the last thing. Now they need the money up front. They used to get it at the end. They'd fix your shit, give them your credit card, they wrote it all up, we're done. Now the guy wants payment in advance. And I'm like, when did that start? Oh, there were people that were hassling them and that were, bullying them and wouldn't pay up at the end saying it wasn't fixed right and all that, which I can see that happening. That doesn't shock me. But I still think payment should be collected at least once they've arrived. Oh, and by the way, Saturday, there's a window that you'll need to be available, okay, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. That's not a window. It's a whole fucking day. You guys, it's like, fuck Best Buy. Fuck them into the ground. They are going to go bankrupt. I promise you that company's going bankrupt within the next 5 years. They will be deceased. They'll be like Sears and JCPenney's. They'll have life support. There'll be Toys R Us. There'll be one location. There'll be Best Buy. Or not Best Buy. They are Best Buy. They're going to be Blockbuster. There'll be one location in the entire United States still struggling to get by. Radio Shack 2.0. Fuck Best Buy. So I got to wait till Saturday to get this asshole to come out here. Hopefully get everything working. I can't imagine why he wouldn't be able to get it working. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. I can do this shit, and that's it. I cannot in any way. And I just got done wiring everything 15 ways to Sunday. The way it's going here now, if anyone out there is a tech genius, please reach out to me, okay? We got the X account. I'll live stream you in or something, and we can shoot the shit or whatever. I don't know. So I've got the Elgato HD60S, which is a pretty standard streaming capture device a lot of people use. And this is the way it's always been. I didn't change anything. The only thing that changed was Windows. But anyway, from the PlayStation, it goes into the HD60S, the Elgato. From the Elgato, you have two. You have the USB-C, which goes into the computer, and then you have the regular HDMI out, which I have going to a TV up here, which is why a lot of times if I were gaming or something, you'd see me looking up because the TV screen's just up a little bit above the camera. And it's always worked without a problem. But I'm thinking, okay, we'll try a couple of things. I bought a new wire today. Thank you for Amazon. I love the fact that I don't have to go anywhere. So I went with an HDMI output instead, removing the TV from the scene, and I'm going to put it directly into the computer. And I'll stream from the computer. I'll take out the middleman, so to speak. And that's with the HDMI to HDMI in both cases. It didn't work. It's not seeing anything. Then I do some more research on YouTube and all that, and okay, it turns out that Elgato has their own capture software. Let me download it. Let me try that. Never needed it before, but fuck, I'm willing. And I download it, pull it up. Okay, plug in your Elgato capture card. It's plugged in. Not seeing it. So somewhere along the ways, motherfuckers don't want to talk to each other. And I know this guy's going to come out here for $120, spend about 10 minutes, and have it working. What does this mean? One thing for sure it means, fuck 2K, not this year. Nope. I ain't spending $150 on top of $120. Nope, not happening. Not happening at all. So there's that. Sean, forget Saturday Morning Superstars, buddy. That's what I'm telling you. I can't do anything with the games. I can only do this. I can get on camera and I can talk, and that's it. I have no way of getting the video game into my computer. Zero. And not until Saturday. So there will be no gaming video other than the stuff that I'm putting together from my old channels. That's literally all I got right now. I've got nothing else I can do. So, the last thing I'm going to try, Danhausen cursed my PC. Not cool. You know, Danhausen is cursed, and now it all makes sense why they brought him out here. He cursed the Vision. That's why everyone got hurt. That was all a Danhausen thing. Yeah, dude, I know you know the frustration. Anyone who does this has had this happen one way or another where your shit ain't working right and It's a pain in the royal ass. So the last thing I'm going to do tomorrow, time permitting, is I still have my old system in the back with the Windows 10 on it. I'm not going to go online with it or anything. I'm just going to use it for capturing the video and all that stuff. But that does mean I got to completely remove this computer, unhook everything, bring that one in, hook that all up, and then hope it works. Because then we will have identified 110% that it's Windows 11. Not that I don't think it's 120% Windows 11, because everything I've ever heard about Windows 11 is it's trash. Now I'm dealing with it. There's a reason I put it off as long as humanly possible, because I hear these stories. So there will not be any Saturday unless, and even then it's going to cut it close. I mean, if I can get this thing up and running tomorrow, then there may be. No promises made. And I might wait until the stream starts tomorrow before I even attempt doing all that, because that'll give me two things to do at the same time. And I love multitasking. And I just sat through all this stuff when I put the video together, so I'm good kind of listening to it and popping in on the chats. And again, for all of you that were here for that stream earlier today, I much bigger audience than I was anticipating for the live stream, and I know it's a big one, over 2 hours long. But the chat made it go. You know, it was just, we were going back and forth and reminiscing and talking about what the games used to be like and how they are today. And the old federations talked a lot about old ECW when it was Eastern Standard or Eastern Championship Wrestling. It was good to reminisce about all that great stuff. I need to upgrade my computer. Don't laugh. I'm still on Windows XP. Dude, you going online with that? Yeah, that's my thing, really. I don't really have any tech-savvy friends. I wish I did. I do have a girl I used to coach. Her son's supposed to be, and he's young. He's like just going into high school. And he's supposed to be knowledgeable. Now, I just don't know what level of knowledgeable he is. I might reach out to her tomorrow. And it's time for an oil change, too. She works there at the auto shop. That's probably my best plan right now. I can't think of, I got nobody else. All of my friends are into other stuff. They're not computer geeks. Oh, you go online with your laptop. Gotcha. And that's the other thing, too. I wanted to take my Windows 10 machine and set it up in the living room. I got so much shit. I've been lazy. Really, it's what it's coming down to. I've got all my DJ equipment that used to be in here out in the living room, which is supposed to propel me to put it in the car to bring it to Guitar Center and see what I can get for it and just sell it. I'm not DJing anymore. Those days are over. It's been sitting here collecting dust. I should be able to get a few $100s for it and be done with it. Free up all that space. And then once that happened, I was going to use some of that and get like a cheap-ass desk just to put this on so that I would have that out there for such an emergency. Alt attires don't take up a cost slot in 2K26. If you only change the attire, it doesn't use an extra slot now. What does that mean exactly? Like, if right now, if I wanted to make an alt attire for CM Punk, I have to go into my CAW section, grab CM Punk, then I can make up to 2 extra attires there, but it's going to use the slot. How can they avoid that? And honestly, with the 200 head count, that wouldn't be a problem for me either way. I wouldn't give a shit about it. Buddy, I'm right there in the same place as you. I just don't have anyone. I've tried I tried almost giving it to my cousin. Yeah, he did my last DJ gig with me, and I thought he might want to do that as a side hustle, but no interest. I told him, man, I'll set you up. You'll have everything you need. I'm still going to keep the Hercules, which is the little 2 turntable mock-up thing that plugs directly into your computer. And I still have the laptop, which God knows that's like Windows 9 probably on there, but it's only been used for the DJ software, and that's it. I never used it for anything else. I might go online to pull a song down or something like that, but for the most part, it never got used for anything else. But I figure I'll just hang on to those items because then if for some wacky reason I needed to DJ or wanted to DJ again, all I got to do is get a power speaker and then I'm good to go. So if you take AJ Styles and make an Alta tire, it won't take one of the 200 slots, apparently. That's one of those I'll believe it when I see it. Kenny. What's up, Mr. Rogers? Yeah, forward it to me. I'd like to see what they're talking about. You know, it's interesting to me what 2K wants to put out. They'll put that out. Have they talked at all about what these, for people paying $150, what these 6 DLCs are going to contain? I haven't heard anything. And I'm afraid I'm not as trusting as one of our frequent visitors here on this channel who says, it'll be a surprise. Yeah, well, a rectal exam can be a surprise, too, if you're not ready for it. I don't necessarily want one, though. Now, this year's game, they're going to take a bath. They are going to eat their ass this year, deservedly so. The WWE doesn't get it. They have lost touch completely with their fan base. From their in-ring product, their TV product, and now the gaming division. They just don't give a fuck. You are going to eat this shit sandwich and like it. And that's for every division. We're feeding. You want Chelsea Green? That's nice. You want LA Knight? That's nice. You want Karrion Kross? That's nice. Here's the shit sandwich. Eat it. Oh, and by the way, here's a side of Danhausen. I didn't hook up the audio effects. My bad. Yeah, and that's the thing with the Battle Pass. First off, we don't know if it's worth it. We know that the first pack isn't worth it because they, well, it would have been for me because I really like AAA wrestling a lot. It's my favorite wrestling right now. So I would have definitely wanted all that AAA shit, especially with the belt and the arenas. For me, for the masses, maybe not so much. Matter of fact, that's a good, let me pull something here real quick. Not that, Blaze. Man, that Danhausen thing is just getting crushed. And they're trying to cover it up. It's like, no, the fans were booing because they thought he was going to, like, do something or wrestle. Or, no, they were booing long before the poof and he disappeared thing goes on. Which, by the way, the fan video in there shows how he just rolled out of the ring and went underneath it. Great for the live audience to see all that shit. Where am I? Here we go. Go to your channel. Thank you. I think I will. Let's go here. Have you watched AAA Worldwide in the past month? 26 people have voted thus far. 62% said no. Come on, people. You're killing me, man. I'm telling you, you need to. It's free. It's on YouTube. It's only once a week for 1 hour. I'm telling you, it is amazing shit. And I would recommend you start at least 1 episode back, maybe even 2, because some stuff happened that kind of brings you up to date. I don't think you need to go further back, but you can. It's all good. I am telling you, man, it is. It gives such a vibe to me that I feel the same way I did when I was starving for wrestling, real wrestling, not Duke the Dumpster Drozy, not Doink the fucking Clown, and not that Johnny B. Bad bullshit going on in the other company. And then all of a sudden there was this little shitty place called ECW where they wrestled without all that schmutz and all that bullshit. Now, with AAA, do they have some Santino type stuff? Yes. But then again, so did ECW. But they did it well. They did it correctly. And, you know, James Romero, I'm listening to him this morning. And as he's talking about this PLE, for the lack of a better word, he's been mentioning this, and I keep forgetting that apparently Tom Pritchard believes that a 4-match pay-per-view is all that it should be. And if you go back over the last several, other than like Manias and SummerSlams, but all the other PLEs are 4 matches long. Your War Games, 4 matches. Elimination Chamber, 4 matches. Go back to the ones before those, in between. Well, you got 3 hours, buddy. What are you doing with 4 matches? What goes on in between? Here's the funny thing. Here he is, and I'm listening to him while I'm making breakfast, right? He's over there talking about in Europe, we don't see the commercials. We just have that screen up in front of our face saying we'll be right back, and freaking 22 minutes in between the AJ Lee match, where she wins, and the CM Punk match starts. 22 minutes. And I started laughing my ass off. Because now I know. Now I know it takes me 22 minutes to make hamburgers from scratch, start to finish. Because as soon as AJ won, and I saw Punk's match was next, I was like, I ain't sitting through this. I already know the winner. I don't care about it. So I'm going to go make my hamburgers, and I'll have something to eat during the chamber match. I get done making my hamburgers. I come back into the studio. He just entered the ring. Still had his jacket on. I'm like, fuck this. No wonder that crowd was dead. How do you not know that you can't just have people sit around for a half hour? How do you not know that? Not one person in that company in that back has a brain in their fucking head that works. God dang it. AAA is what you should be watching. There's no dead space. None. They're wrestling. They're fighting. They've got good segments to keep their storylines moving, like we saw earlier today in the stream. Quality segments. Off-property segments. They really go the extra mile to make it feel more dramatic, like they used to do in the WWE back in the day. So I'm for your own good. Watch AAA. Give it a couple of episodes. I'll be stunned if you say, I watched 2 episodes, I don't like it. Because then I'm going to ask you what you don't like about it, what's not to like about it. It's literally got something for everyone. Great wrestling, got it. You want the spot monkey stuff? They got those too. The difference, and I mentioned this in the recap the other day, the difference in their spot monkey stuff is it's good. I mean, it is like precision. They don't fuck up. They don't miss their cues. Nobody's been getting hurt. You don't see people's legs snapping in the middle. Isn't Jelly Roll confirmed one of the season passes? I believe yes. As a matter of fact, and they gave him a rating of like 80 is what I think I heard. Don't know which season pass he's going to be part of. But this is my point, though. You've got so many questions, and we're less than a week away. We're days away. And they haven't answered the questions yet. So, no, I'm not. Not a chance. And if this thing doesn't get fixed, it won't matter anyway, because what would I need it for, right? I don't use it for me. I got to admit, man, I was, and I've mentioned this before, even with this game, I'm a completionist in the sense that if there's wrestlers available for the game, I want them. And the way they've been doing the game the last couple of years, you're never going to have that, which I wouldn't even mind if they weren't in the rotation. And as you're going through the rotation, you see there's a name blurred out that you don't have. That just kind of slaps me in the face. Oh, you don't have this one. Oh, you don't have that one. No, you don't have this one. Fuck you. We don't have it because you don't make it possible to get it. You got to be grinding out all these cards and shit. Nobody wants to do that. Other than Kenny Baum, nobody wants to do that. The overwhelming majority of people do not like that card market bullshit. Period. And I said it before and I'll say it again. If you would have put them available for $4.99, you'd have sold them. And there'd be people bitching about that, and I'd be the first one to tell them, shut the fuck up. Because these names, for example, the one item that I will be happy if I get that, and then I don't care about anything else I don't have, is the Elite figure for Liv Morgan, because that's the only Elite I don't have. And I'd like to just complete that collection. And if they put a card out there where you can just buy it for $4.99, I would. I don't even like AEW. I don't like them. But they have on sale right now for another few days, if you're on PSN, the complete season pass. That's everything. Every new wrestler they added, every arena they added, everything for $19.99. If you were going to buy them the way they were priced out, you'd have spent like $75. Who the fuck, right? But for $19.99, now that game is complete. So, yeah, I bought it. Now the game is complete. I even played it a little bit yesterday. I would have streamed it, but I'll say, the game, it has its moments. It's kind of goofy fun. It's not something that's going to hold you long term. And there is nobody in Stadium Stampede. Absolutely no users. After like 3-minute wait, they threw a bunch of bots in there with me. You don't get any credit for that. When you win that match, you don't get any credit. Yeah, the Triple Mania Arena does look good. And again, this is why I was kind of like, and going back to the completion thing, I was like, okay, well, maybe just get the base model. At least you get Joe Hendry that way, which I don't give a fuck about Joe Hendry. But it'll bug me that it was available and I didn't get it. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm perfectly okay with that. Because I was that way with Superstar Billy Graham the first year he came out. And I think that year I used him once or twice. That is it. And the more I think about it, even like when the Wyatt 6, I think that was part of a pre-order, if I'm not mistaken. And I barely used them. Now, Superstar Billy Graham, that's a little more surprising because most of what I do is old school wrestling. So how I didn't use him, especially when I was looking forward to him so much, I don't know. I used him more this year, and I would have used him a lot more if his tag team partner wasn't such a prick. And we are getting less wrestlers in the DLC. Went from 5 down to 4. So, again, they want all this money. So here's the deal. They've lost the PS4 audience, which my guess is it makes up about 25% of their overall sales, which is a lot. That's a lot of sales to be losing, okay? Then you segregated the PC community from the console community. Well, a lot of people on console now that would have bought it aren't going to buy it now because they relied on the PC folks to give them the kind of content they want for the game, which now they know they're not going to get. Everything they're doing, it's just like what they're doing with WrestleMania, what they just did with Elimination Chamber. Elimination Chamber this past weekend, if you owned a bar or a restaurant or any kind of speakeasy kind of place, you were forbade from showing the event on TV. You could not put Elimination Chamber in your establishment. You'd have got fined through the ass. They put a 60-mile or a 50-mile moratorium where nobody is allowed to show it. Fuck you. If you want to see it, you come here and you pay $1,000 like everybody else. Oh, and by the way, their tickets, seating wise, they still had, I think the number I heard was 1,500 tickets still available the day before, which mysteriously they sold. Bullshit. They bought that bought those tickets them damn selves because they did not want to have to tell investors that we couldn't sell out an arena. Good luck with that at Mania, guys. You're going to have a lot more seats to buy yourselves. I've always been a WWE guy. It hurts me to see. They're not the WWE anymore. They're just not. It's a whole different animal, and that's the thing that I'm coming into realization on, and I think we all need to, for those of us that have been lifelong fans of the WWF, WWE, and not just because Vince is gone, because that transition to Hunter was fine. It was still the WWE. TKO, man, it is dead. And then the best case scenario in there is that they're going to turn around and sell it to Saudi, which that's not going to make anything any better. So, you got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em. Yeah, I was thinking that same thing when I saw his name pop up there. I almost did it, but Blaze beat me to it. Primetime, he's right there with me, man. Watch it every week. Jackson, how you doing? Yeah, dude, I believe 110% what you're saying. I went for fun. By the way, March 31st, no more 2K24 servers. So if you have anything you want to do with 2K24, tick, 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 tick. It's almost done. So move quickly. I've already finished everything on mine over there. I've got a roster that I'm sticking with, which is an all ECW roster on that one. And that's where I'm going to keep that. Which kind of sucks in a way because 2K25 does have New Jack with that really cool entrance, but there'll always be a reason. And I was checking out their prices, by the way, on their card market. I said, okay, well, it's friggin' 24. This thing's dead. They got to be slashing them down to nothing. Dude, they're more expensive than it is for 2K25. I don't think they had a damn card there for under 125,000. I'm like, what? This is a dead game. Don't you want it? I can't believe they're not over there licking the crumbs off the plate. Give it away. Sell them for $1 a piece at this point in time. Nope. They're the same way they are with the tickets at WrestleMania and all that shit. Nope, you're going to pay $1,000. Nope, we're not going to pay $1,000. Y'all fucking too stupid to learn. Yeah, Ken, I mean, it bugs the shit out of me. Again, if there was a way I could delete that slot just so I don't have to look at it, I'd be fine. And some of those I don't really care to have, but it bothers me. And they do that deliberately for that reason. They know it will have people like us that want a complete roster that, but at the end of the day, I'm just going to deal with it. But I do want that fucking Liv Morgan card. That's the only one I give a shit about. And I keep checking once a week at least in the card market to see if it's available. I'll buy the damn thing as long as it's not stupid. And I've got like 25,000 VC at the moment, so who knows? Every day I just log in and get off, log in and get off. Some days you get a good number. You'll get 750 VC. Sometimes you can even get over 1,000, 1,500 VC. Other days only 30 and 50, but it doesn't take 2 seconds just to log in and log off, and that's all I do. And I've already got, like I said, over 20,000, so. They're going to add, Jackson says, one unannounced DLC. So I don't care about the unannounced. Let's talk about the announced. They've announced 6 DLCs. They just haven't told us what's in them. You want me to pay for what? What is this? Let's make a deal? I've got $100 in my hand, or you can take what's behind door number 2. Fuck you. I'll take the $100, man. You can take door number 2 and shove it up your ass. It's going to be Bessie the cow every damn time. Yeah, artistic randomness brings up a good point here. So, and I mentioned this in the past, I don't get it. It's like when they had these 3 different tiers that you can purchase, each with a different art style, right? You had the CM Punk, then you had the Monday Night War, or not the Monday Night, well, it was a Monday Night Wars, whatever you want to call it, but it was the collage, which is the one I like the most. And then you had the Monday Night Wars, where you had the top 5 WWE, and then the bottom was the top 5 WCW guys. But then you can't buy a physical copy of anything other than the base game. And I'm like, well, then what's the point in the artwork? Everyone was out there saying, oh, I want this one, I want this one, I want this one, meaning the box art is what they wanted. You're not going to get that. The only box art you can get is CM Punk if you buy the physical copy, and even then, it's only the base copy. It used to be that you would buy that, and you'd still probably get the one copy, the one sleeve, so far as your box art is concerned. And then you go from there. But nowadays, no. Inside you had a code, and you type in the code, and that code would say, okay, he bought the deluxe edition. They don't do that shit anymore. So, and what I've done in the past, and I know other people do the same thing, right now, I don't have 2K25 physical, right? So another year from now, I might go and get a used copy on eBay for $20 just to have a physical copy. I don't even know if I have 24. Because now would be the time to get 24. Well, I'll look later. I don't know if I have a 24. But I know I don't have 26, and I ain't getting it. Nope. They can shove that shit up their ass. Fuck it. Man, how far back? Since the Nintendo, what are we talking about? That first WrestleMania game, that hokey little 8-bit graphic piece of shit game. I've bought whatever WWE video game came out for the console or consoles that I had available to me at the time. Any wrestling game, for that matter, came out, I bought. Without exception, I never took a year off, especially from the WWE, WWF, whether it was SmackDown versus Raw, whether it was the Here Comes the Pain stuff, whether it was, you name it. I mean, I didn't have an N64 until the last year or so, and then I went out and bought all those wrestling games after the fact. I just don't get it. I don't get it. This is going to be the first year that I do not buy a wrestling game. Well, at least not from the main source. I did pick up the stuff that I showed you guys. That AAW is a pretty good game. I'm not going to say it's held my interest all that much. The reason I'm not as into that as I thought I was going to be is the Creation Suite. It's interesting, but what a fucking pain in the ass it is. You do the creating on your desktop. You don't do it in-game. And the way you do it on your desktop is they give you the stencil of the mesh for the characters. And then you take whatever attire or face scan or whatever, and you are going to kind of map it onto the mesh. So you have to do all that in Photoshop. Then you save it, then it goes in, and then it, boom, makes your character for you. It's been a learning experience there. I've been making some of the characters from UPW. So Bill Dollar is there, Bison Biggs is there, Pork Chop Ed Cleaver's there, and Americana is there, if you end up getting that game, the AAW game. And those 4 are there. Movesets, everything is in there. But, man, it takes a minute. And then there's, like, hairstyles, Bison Biggs, not Bison Biggs so much, but, well, they don't have a mullet. Let's go with that, which I'm amazed that they don't have mullets. And as far as Pork Chop, he basically just has hair on the sides of his head kind of thing and around the back, but a bald dome. They don't have that. The only one they have with a bald dome is the Hogan look, which didn't really fit the character. So I had to kind of go with the next best thing that I could find. It is what it is. But there wasn't enough reward in it for me to want to put that much time. I might dabble with it a little bit here and there. TNA on AMC. I haven't watched them lately. I probably want to give them another chance again. I just know that they hit peaks and valleys a lot. It sounds like they've been doing much better lately. So I might take an opportunity. It's like I know right now what's on, but I'm not watching that. I'll wait till tomorrow and I'll get the YouTube clips, and that's it. I have zero desire to watch anything with them. The WWE is just, they're horrible. Horrible people now. Not the performers, the company itself. The Dwaynes. Primetime says, for your situation, have to get a new console, PlayStation 5, Xbox. Why do you need a new PlayStation? Oh, because they don't make Xbox One. Are you actually going to buy a new console just because of this game, or were you planning on getting one anyway? Yeah, Ken, you're right about that. You have to have 5 cards to get her. The odds of getting those 5 cards, and they're all, I don't know if they're all diamond or what. I mean, they're not low-end cards, and I have none of those cards. So how many packs you want to buy? No, I don't want it that bad. And again, they're losing my money. Do you think anyone that doesn't actually have those 5 cards, like Kenny Baum probably got those 5 cards because he plays so damn much. But I'm just saying, for the rest of us that don't spend time doing the My Faction shit, do you think anyone, even Liv's biggest fan, would want to spend money on pack after pack after pack to maybe get the 5 cards you need to get Liv Morgan, which is going to cost you probably over $80 at the end of the day? No one's going to do that. But if you put her there for $5, just saying, what do I know? We're supposed to know what names are on the DLC, you're correct, but we don't. And when are they going to share that information? Again, they've lost the PS4. They've lost a good portion, I think, of the remaining console people. A lot of it has to do with the price point. A lot of it has to do with the fact that this Battle Pass is not well received and nobody has any faith in it. And then again, the segregation between the PC community and the console people. I just think that's too much at one time. But the biggest thing was definitely that Battle Pass. That was the stake in the heart, the nail in the coffin. Who's got time to grind? We got to make a T-shirt with that. I ain't got time to grind. See if we can get our truth to wear that on TV one day. Well, dude, I'm semi-retired right now, and I still wouldn't spend that time grinding. Speaking of which, that's one of the things tomorrow. I got to find out if I'm staying retired or not. There is one job that I found. I've only applied to like 3 because I don't have to go back to work right now as long as I budget myself well. And I says, you know what? It is a little bit boring at this point. It was nice during the holidays, being able to just spend all the time I want with family and friends and all that kind of stuff. But then holidays are over and everyone's back to work, and then it's me and the dog, and I love my dog. But, you know, I said if I can find a job where I feel like it serves a purpose and it doesn't feel like work, then I'll take it. And I was only sending, literally, I think maybe 3 resumes over the course of 2.5 months. And the one that I sent out most recently actually got a response, which statistically anyone looking for a job today will tell you. I know so many people who've put out 100 resumes just to get 1 or 2 interviews and no job. And those are the numbers that a lot of people are talking. So I'm like, the odds of me getting these things are slim enough. I don't care, but I'm only going to work if I like the job at this point. I'm not going to take another job that I hate. This one, like I said, I've had 2 interviews so far, but then this whole last week, the guy was out of town. He came back today. I was going to call, but I was I'm going to give him 24 hours, see if he calls me first. Didn't. But I'm sure he had to, get himself resituated after the vacation trip. Interview went really well. I can't imagine not getting this job, but shit happens. If it does, it does. But I would love to have this job, and I'll tell you guys more about it if it happens. But tomorrow I got to call this guy and find out what's going on, whether or not they made a final decision. And depending how that call goes, I might not have time to grind either, which is a good thing. Yeah, 24, I got all of them on digital first because I wanted to have them at midnight. And that's something, man, let me tell you what I miss. I miss when there was no digital. And there were all these midnight release parties over at the GameStops and all the game stores and all that kind of stuff. I remember going there year after year for the midnight release. And it was always not just WWE's game. There was like WWE. One year it was that along with GTA. I don't remember which GTA, but it happened to come out the same day. So there was massive amount of people out there. They had the games all set up where you could play different games and shit. And they would have pizza. It was a good time. And then with the GameStop, they used to have, what was their sister store with the game DVD or... Movie Stop, I think is what it was, right? Where they had the DVDs and the Blu-rays and all that bullshit. And even they would stay open since they were right next door, knowing there was a crowd. So you go there and browse over some movies and stuff while you're killing time. Go back. I miss that. That was fun. And you don't get that anymore. And that's why I'm like loading up on physical games as best I can because I want to have that around because... We've heard the stories and we've seen what happens where all of a sudden people have bought stuff digitally, movies, TV series, whatever, and then all of a sudden they go to watch it and it's gone. Oh, we no longer have the rights to that. Well, fuck, I paid for it. You paid to rent it, yeah. No, I bought it. Yeah, you bought it to rent it as much as you wanted as long as we had it. And think about it. How many times do you watch an average movie that you own? I mean, I got DVDs in the next room. And I look at them and I'm like, never going to see these again. I've got probably 15 of the UFCs back in the earlier days, like during the Ken Shamrock time period. UFC 25, UFC 26, UFC 28, and all that. Watched them once. Am I going to watch them again? Probably never. I can't tell you how many movies I got. Am I going to watch them again? Half the time, yeah, I stream it. I'm too lazy to get the disc. Today, I was trying to find my DVD. I've got some DVDs of the first channel and the videos that I had on that. And I thought for sure I knew where I was going to find them. You know, one of 2 or 3 different places, but they're going to be here, here, or here. And son of a bitch, I don't know what I did with them. I didn't throw them away, so they're in this house somewhere. I'll have to do some more hunting. Because I was like, I can take those DVDs and I can upload them here in the meantime since I can't do anything else. So I'm going to try and find those DVDs, and I don't even know what's on them. But as I was looking for them, I found all these DVDs that I knew I had them, but I guess when you don't look through it, they're literally books with the DVDs in them. I've got so much fucking wrestling in there. It's insane. I mean, it's just like... I'd gone through some VHS tapes a few weeks ago, and I came across the first ever crowning of the WWF European Champion, which was, of course, the British Bulldog fighting Owen Hart over in Germany. And that was a USA Tuesday night show or something like that. It was a special from Germany, blah, 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 blah. And I just remembered that being a really cool event. It had that lighting that I like, where it's almost in a pitch black arena with just a big spotlight over the ring, very shadowy and gritty, and I like that style. And I felt like watching that again. put it in, and I played it through, all good. Then I tried to rewind the tape, and tape kind of got a little chewed up there. I'm like, well, fuck me, man. That might be the last time I ever watch it. Well, it turns out I had already backed it up on DVD and didn't even realize it. So I do have the DVD of that in pristine condition. And I had a ton of other shit in that book, man. One of these days, we might do one of these streams where I'll just pull out the book and start flipping through these things. Everything you can imagine. You name it, it's in there. Including a bunch of old shows. Just regular Saturday morning stuff from the USWA. You name it, man. It is literally, it's all in there. ECW, classic shit, all in there. Prime time back to 7-Eleven. You've been at 7-Eleven for a minute, though, buddy, haven't you? That's the guy. And what shift are you working there? You're not doing the overnight shit, are you? I love my PS4. So my PlayStation 2 does not play PlayStation 1 discs, which apparently is a pretty common thing because I did not realize this. But the laser in the PlayStation 2 is actually 2 lasers, not 1. And that's because the PlayStation 1 requires a different laser. Learned something. And it is very common that they've died out over time. So the PlayStation 2 will play their discs, but it won't play the ones. So I go on to eBay, and I see a guy selling a PlayStation 2. Asked him, have you tested it? Does it play ones? He's, I don't know. I got it at a yard sale. They tell me it works. If it doesn't, I'll do a refund. So he sends it to me. Just got it a couple days ago. Went and hooked it up. It'll do the PlayStation 2 games only. But the tray, when you eject, makes a pretty intense grinding noise. And it also, it'll eject and then right away retract. So, wrote back to him and said, well, it's a good news, bad news thing, buddy. The good news is it does work on PlayStation 2 discs. The bad news is it doesn't do the one, and that tray's not going to be working too much longer. So, it's all boxed up back here, and I got to get that out to the post office tomorrow as well. So, I got a lot of shit I got to get done. Yeah, well, Ken, getting a PS5 nowadays is a lot easier than it was back during COVID. I'll tell you that right now. Edema, arthritis, my body's no cartilage in both arms. Ooh. And you're younger than me, buddy. Oof, that's terrible. I've just started having this thing with my shoulder. I don't know if you could hear that. And it's kind of sore. So I'm not sure what's all going on there, but because I'm in between employers right now, I don't currently have medical coverage, so I'm not going to go getting anything done about that right now. It's something I can easily live with, so I'm not going to sweat it. By the way, the guy that sent me the PlayStation 2, I was like, he got it at a yard sale. How much you want to bet there's a game in there? This little thing's pretty cool. It's got 8 games in there. Splinter Cell. It's called, what is it? Jam Pack for the PlayStation 2. And it plays. So there's several games on there. Wow, that thing is dirty. We're going to clean that bad up. Oh, yeah. Dookie's in the house. What's up, Dookie? How you doing, man? Second place, Charles. We had a place here in Orlando, right by the Florida Mall, that was selling old games, and it looks like they went out of business. My guess is COVID got them. I don't know. We were better in Florida than a lot of other states when it came to allowing businesses to stay open. But, and I would have thought he'd have made good money during COVID because you're home all the time. So what are you going to do? Play games. history of ECW, TNA pay-per-views on it is WCW and indie stuff. 15 years, holy shit. Oh, first shift, okay. Whew. Gonna say that third shift thing. Not in that place. No, no, no. Still got my PlayStation 3. Yep, I got my 3 on top of my 2. Do I not have a 4? Wait a minute. Where's my 4? Or am I losing my mind? Oh, I used the... Never mind. The PlayStation 4 is in the bedroom, but I used the 5 to cover the 4. That's why. And then I've got the N64 on top of the NES. Super NES below that. Sega Genesis below that. And that's all my stuffs. And I'm probably going to try and find a PlayStation 1 now, since that'll be cheaper. So I went and bought a new laser. I saw a YouTube video how to do that. It wasn't that hard to do. But the laser has a little plastic flap that has to come down so that you can put the ribbon cable back into it and then snug it up. And that little plastic flap just fell right off. And it wouldn't go back on. I'm like, nah, fuck that. It'll be cheaper for me at this point in time just to get my refund on this thing, just to buy a PlayStation 1 if I can find one. I had one. Gave it away to one of the kids I was coaching because I didn't need it. I had a PlayStation 2, which played, backwards compatible, played the PlayStation 1s. Didn't know. Wish I'd have kept it now. Demolition is confirmed for season 2. Oh, wow. I didn't know that, Sean. Is confirmed for season 2 of Ringside Pass. All right. Well, that's the first thing I have heard that sounds at all promising. And by the way, Demolition's going into the Hall of Fame, which I only found out about that today. I don't know how long ago that announcement may have been made, but long fucking overdue. They want you to do it, or they're telling you you're going to have to do it? Because you're right, man. There's no way in hell I would be doing those shifts suck. And if you got 15 years, man, who else is working there that's got 15 years? Seniority has to mean something. Yeah, I feel you, brother. I got the shoulder here on this side. I got a shoulder blade on the left side starting to agitate. They still sell PlayStation 2 games. You mean old games they sell. They don't make new ones. You get WCW versus the World. I got that, yeah. That was a good one. Oh, they're throwing Crush in there too, are they? That's all right. Yeah, he deserves to be. Seville, what's happening, my man? Have you had a chance to check out XCW? If you liked the UPW thing, you're going to like XCW as well. We had a full house today watching that thing this afternoon, and part 2 is tomorrow. But it's a big watch, so you might just break it up into watching periods of time of it here and there. Just mark your timer and on a piece of paper or something, wherever you leave off, and then just pick it up from there. Yeah, that's what happens, prime time. You give that stuff away to people, and they don't take care of it. People don't take care of it, especially if you give it to them for free, because they have nothing invested in it. Did you make it all the way through, Seville? Did you get all the way through it, or I'm just curious to know. I don't want to talk about parts of it if you've not seen it yet. Like I said, guys, when I was putting that video together, I was coming up with different ideas on how I wanted to do it, and then I was like, you know what? What I wanted to do was go with my old channel get in there and start. Back in the old days, I didn't know what playlists were and all that crap, so I didn't make it. It was just all there, like a freaking omelet. And what I wanted to do was go in there and set them up in playlists so that you could just hit play and let it go all the way through the list. But because I had no way of getting into the account, that wasn't an option for me. So then I was like, okay, I made a playlist for me on mine, but with the thought that any day now that could all be gone. Again, if you don't know, Google has decided that any accounts, and that means their email accounts. So if you have a Google email account that you don't use and you haven't used it for over a year, it may be gone. If it's not gone, it will be gone soon. Unless all you got to do is go in and do something. Just anything. Well, the same thing goes for YouTube sites. So if you have a channel and nothing has happened on it, and you haven't posted anything to it or anything like that. Matter of fact, talking to Jay after we went off the stream the other day, we always end up bullshitting for another hour after that. He was telling me, because he's starting to post on his channel again, so go to J-Rocks and check out his stuff. He's getting back into it again. And he was mentioning the fact that he had a warning notice that they were getting ready to bump him out, but now that he's gone in and done it, he's safe. That's all you have to do is just go on and do anything. And you don't have to even, like if you have a YouTube channel tied to the Google, from what I was told, as long as you go into your Google account, you don't even have to go on the YouTube thing. You don't have to post a video. Anyway, the story with mine is that when I got bumped off of Invasion's End, they took the channel down. It was gone. Then all of a sudden, a couple of years ago, I'm floating around and I'm looking and I'm like, just for fun, I put in the search for Invasion's End. And there it was. And I'm like, what the fuck? The channel still exists. The problem is that channel, though, was made back in the old days with an AOL account. Well, once Google bought it out, they forced everyone to change it to a Gmail address. You had to have a Gmail address. Okay. And you had a period of time to accomplish that in it. So I went back trying to log in on my old AOL, and I got really close, but I couldn't get in. And then I was just going to, set up a Gmail account or whatever, and so I couldn't do it. But I figured, well, I'll just put a link to the channel in this current channel here for the Nation Network, and then if people want to go check it out, they still can. But I don't get to see the comments. I mean, I could go through video after video if I want to, but it would have been better if I could have interacted with people, I guess, things like that. But now I find out that they're very likely just going to remove the whole channel, which makes sense because thankfully that channel was nowhere near as big as this one in the sense that I hadn't had it for as many years. Like on this channel now, I'm not even sure. I'd have to look it up to see what year I started this one. But it's probably close to a decade, maybe. It's been a long time. Been a long fucking time. So I didn't have nearly as much content on that channel. And most of it, I think I've already got. All the stuff that I've got off of there now, and you can look on playlists here for this channel. If you put in Invasion's End on this channel, you're going to find a playlist for it. The fact that and that's all backed up stuff that I've already taken and probably got from the old DVDs that I can't find right now. And the reason I'm looking for those so much is there are two events that take place during the XCW that I do not have. I think I have them on a DVD somewhere. One of them is Hardcore Uproar, which happens in the first season, or the first half of the season, and then the other one is Global Mania, which is the big blow-off show at the very end of season 2. And the reason I don't have them there is I didn't stream them to YouTube. And again, it wasn't streaming back then. You didn't stream. You made your video and you uploaded it. But that's, again, YouTube was giving me all these strikes and pissing me off and taking my channels down. And I said, fuck it. And there was this thing called Blip TV at the time, kind of competing for the same space. And I said, screw it. My pay-per-views are going to be over at Blip, trying to draw my audience over there so that I could just migrate away from YouTube. Well, Blip did not last very long, and those videos are gone. They cannot be located on Blip because Blip doesn't exist, I don't think, at all anymore. Let me check on that now. I'm kind of curious. Blip TV. Oh, wait a minute. No. Blip got bought by Maker Studios in 2013, which then bought by Disney. Of course, Disney. Let me see what Wiki says about them. Blip, formerly Blip TV, was an American media, that's past tense, was an American media platform for web series content and also offered a dashboard for producers, yes they did, of original web series to distribute and monetize their productions. The company was founded on the May 5th, of 2005 and was located in New York City, where the headquarters was located, as well as Los Angeles. Was financed by Brian Venturas to deliver. Blip was acquired by Maker Studios 2013 and shut down by them on August of 2015. All right, so Blip is dead. Anyway, that's why those two videos are missing. And I'm going to check one more place that just kind of came into mind that maybe. I'm really surprised that those discs didn't show up where I thought they'd be, though. I thought for sure I knew where they were. They could be in this room. I feel like I've checked everywhere that they would be. The Evil Empire, indeed. Whoa. Oh, primetime. What's this? Watching you, Blaze, Totes, Solo Season, and others. Take my chance and stream. Oh, cool, dude. Yeah, absolutely. Do it. Do it. Seville introduced his nephew to the UPW world. His two favorite wrestlers are Dewey and Thurston Blood. The lovable loser, man. Mikey Whipwreck 2.0, buddy. That's why Mikey was loved. Wasn't because he did end up winning some matches, man. Wasn't he their world champion actually at one point? I know he had the TV title. I think he even won their world title. I still have my AOL. To me, those are like my junk accounts. I don't even look at them. I'll bounce them. Like, I've got certain things that are still tied to the AOL accounts. So, like, if I need, I don't even know, whatever. If I need something, maybe I'm making a purchase or whatever, and they're going to send the receipt, they're sending it to my AOL account. So I'll bounce over there real quick just to check the receipt out, and that's it. But I've probably got 4,000 emails there that I'm not even going to look at. If I go to a website that's like, before we let you get access to the website, give us an email address. We'll let you know when the specials are taking place and all that. Those things off of Facebook, like if you want to go and buy something that they're selling or at least look at it first, and they want to have an email address so they can bust your balls. And I'm like, yeah, send it to AOL. No one is going to look at it. So my Gmails are my current stuff for things that actually matter, and then my AOL is just shit that I'm not even going to pay attention to. So. Steve, how you doing, man? Well, you got here a little late. We talked about this earlier. Right now, I'm down. I've got no way of getting my PlayStation to communicate with my computer. They're both working fine. The Elgato's working fine. I think it's Microsoft update bullshit, but I've got no one. I got a tech coming out on Saturday. That's the soonest. So I'm not doing anything. Like this Saturday, highly unlikely there will be any shows on Saturday. If I switch out the old computer and put it back in and it works, then I might be able to get some stuff out for Saturday. But That's a long shot right now. As far as NWA, though, we just did Clash of the Champions. That's kind of the pay-per-view. You got to remember, NWA back then only had 3 pay-per-views. They had Starrcade. They had, hold on a minute. I can grab my cheat sheet here. Not like the memory's going to do it anymore. Saturday. I think it's under this one. Yes, it's under this one. Shows. Nope. So yeah, we got the Clash of Champions, which I got that kind of booked for once a month. And then so far as bigger shows, we're kind of rotating through Greensboro, Baltimore, Cap Center, and the Omni. And that's as often as I can. I don't have the time to do, one a month for each of those venues, plus the Saturday shows, plus a Clash. Halloween Havoc I've thrown in there, even though that wasn't around at the time. But so they've got Halloween Havoc, Starrcade, and I guess you could say the Crockett Cup, which we already did. And where is the Bash? Oh, that's right. I just highlighted it red. Yeah. So the Great American Bash, which is going to be a busy month in July. But so far as pay-per-views, I think, where are we at? March now, right? April, May. Yeah, Bash. Bash in July will be the next pay-per-view. There'll be like a big Bash. That'll be a pay-per-view event, but there'll be several super card show kind of things where they're going to be heavily booked. Mikey was a grand champion? Really? Who did he get the tag team titles with? Was that a Cactus Jack thing? I think it was him and Cactus, wasn't it? Yeah, that sounds right. AAA is the best wrestling going today. I mean, for me it is. Dude, you were watching NWA still? How? I tried about a month ago. I said, it's been a year. Let me see. And I barely made it. What was the friggin' network you have to have just to watch that shit? Whatever it is, I got it. I got the app for it. Tubi. I think it was Tubi, maybe. Anyway, whatever it is, I got it. Went on there, found it, started watching it, and I'm like, nope. Didn't get any better. Reality wrestling, it's never done anything for me. Oh, wait a minute. Is that the Booker T one? I might be confusing it with something else. I've never really seen Booker's stuff. Where do you get that from? Is that a YouTube thing? House of Glory I haven't watched. MLW, I've been meaning to check them out because I saw their Battle Riot here in Kissimmee, so I wanted to start watching them again, see how they're doing. And I haven't done that, so that's on me. I got to check them out. Yeah, Steve, we always have fun with the Bash. And I kind of did that with the UPW. I gave them their own version of the Great American Bash. Oh, and Tajiri as well. I didn't remember that one. Wow. Cactus, I remember. He likes it. Mikey likes it. Yeah, prime time. Apparently they did. Or he did. I forgot all about that. Man, I even forgot that Tajiri was in ECW because I was so used to him being in the WWE. WWF, I guess, at that time. Oh, mercy. All right, folks. Well, hour and 25 minutes. Damn, time flies when you're having a good time. Tomorrow, if anyone's around or available or able to break away from work for a little bit, 2:30 in the afternoon, and will be the premiere. I will be here unless something comes up of the sequel to XCW 2. And hopefully you can join us for that. Like I said, I know these are long ones, but it's just cred. After 2, that's it. That's XCW done. Unless I can find these other 2 standalone events that I'm going to try to locate. It's bugging me. I don't like misplacing things. Evolve, I did watch a little bit of Evolve. It didn't keep me glued to the TV or anything, but it wasn't terrible. If reality's on YouTube, I must have that. Let me see. I'm sure I've got it. Reality of wrestling. Yeah, I'm subscribed to that. So nothing's really been popping up in my chain is the thing. Which, not a big surprise, right? That shit happens all the time. People don't get alerts. They don't get notifications. Just ask the clown and he will tell you. The U.S. Express against the Russians, the match of the year so far. It's in there. Matter of fact, did I close that already? I did. I've been making notes for match of the year contenders rather than have to figure it out at the end of the year. This time I'm kind of going along. And it's definitely on the list. That was a good one, man. They actually had a couple of good ones. Even the ladder match wasn't bad, but I like the one that was on the 605 show better. It's nice when you sim a match and it works well. There's so many times where you see it and it's starting to happen, and oh, this is the time now. Go for the pin here, go for the pin here, and then they don't. I'm like, you fucked it up, man. That was your moment, man. And that's one of the things that was of interest to me with 2K26 is that the AI is supposed to now not just do stupid random pins, but actually set up for pinfall. It's like lately I've been thinking about doing a custom match where you have to use your finisher to go for a win, just because guys haven't been using finishers much lately. But then I also think, you know, back in the late 70s, early 80s, that wasn't uncommon. You know, Pedro Morales, for example, his finishing move was always the Boston Crab. Once in a while, he'd just roll a guy up. Once in a while, he'd put him in an abdominal stretch and get a win off of that. So it wasn't so uncommon. Even Flair, he didn't always beat a guy with a figure 4 leg lock on a Saturday show. So, we'll see. All right, everybody. Well, I want to thank you guys for joining me. Again, tomorrow, 2:30, we'll do it again if you can be with us. If not, check it out on demand. It'll be up. That's what she said. In the meantime, find time every day to say the 2 magic words, and you know what they are by now.
Okay! Game on! 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 Yeah, game on!
Neon lights, but the night's so wild. Twisted in here like a reckless child. Our keep buzzing electric fire. Chasing scores higher, 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 higher.
You can't keep getting away with it! You can't keep getting away with it!